This whole thing's talking about yichud of the Shechinah and everything. And just maybe I can do it briefly. It's a very, very central thing, and especially learning the sefer like this, where this whole thing is talking about the yichud of panim b'panim, and everything's the highest level of yichud that we can come to. Which also I read recently in the Rizal. That's really the whole tachlis. What he's talking about here, this idea of creating this yichud of the Shechinah and Kodesh Baruch Hu in the level of panim b'panim, that as far as Rizal is concerned, that's the highest level we can come to, like this highest yichud of Shabbos. That's what we're striving for. So why is that such a big deal? And what's this whole thing about the yichud of the Shechinah and Kodesh? So on my own, there are many madrigas and levels to how a person can envision this and understand how it relates to us. And I'm not, always probably scratching the surface. But for me, it was a very big thing when I realized, what's going on a little bit. Is the idea that we talk about avoided lishma, toilet lishma, and doing mitzvahs lishma, and is that being kind of a selflessness that we're concerned about doing it for Hashem instead of doing it for ourselves. So what does it mean doing it for Hashem? And the obvious kasha is that what does Hashem need us for? Hashem has everything. Hashem is complete. Hashem is everything. What does He need us for? So the answer to that question is pashut we don't know. I mean, we don't know why Hashem chose to create the world, except that there are certain principles about the teva, toiv, the heitiv, something, if a person wants to give, and melech below am, and there's certain answers that are given for this, but it really doesn't answer. The point is that we don't. It's not for us to figure out why and why Hashem created the world, but what we have to understand is what existence is about. And what we know is that Hashem created the world for the sake of Klal Yisrael. And if Klal Yisrael had not accepted the Torah, Hashem would have basically reversed existence back to nothing. He would have returned the world to Tohu Vavohu. What does that mean? That obviously Hashem knew what was going to happen to begin with, so He knew that the Yidden were going to accept the Torah. But the fact is that if He had known that the Yidden weren't going to accept the Torah, He wouldn't have created the world to begin with. The world was the existence, the totality of existence is predicated on the concept that you're not going to accept the Torah. So what does the Hashem need us to accept the Torah for? Okay, so what is the Shechinah? The Shechinah is Hashem's presence in the world. Hashem has the idea is that there's a certain dwelling of Hashem where Hashem becomes perceptible in the world. For example, this guy's experience. He saw Hashem speaking to him. He saw that Hashem was communicating with him directly through the events that happened to him. It was very clear to him. There was no other way of explaining it. This was just, for sure. It was pushing. At least in his mind, it was for sure, no question about it, right? There are times when Hashem reveals Himself to us in different ways, in different places, for everybody in a different way, or also to Klal Yisrael. There were certain times in our history that Hashem revealed Himself to everybody, and everybody admitted. There's Chris Yamsuf, there's the Makkos, there's the Kabbalah Torah, there's what happened to Shalmaneser. There's various times in history, various nisim, that Hashem is obviously here. So the idea is that Hashem wants to have a connection with us. He didn't just create the world and leave. He created the world, and in order to be connected with us. And the more we bring Hashem into the world, the more Hashem is revealed in the world, the more we create that unification and that unity that He had intended to happen to begin with. But the point is, it's not dry. It's a very, very passionate, emotional drive in the thing. It's the whole idea that the mashal, the Metzias, is connected to the idea of Zohar and the Keva, which is the strongest drive which exists. There's an idea that there's a unification of opposites. There's a really dynamic thing going on here, and it's not just about us doing Hashem's rutzin. Hashem gave us the Torah in order for us to do His rutzin, so that we would be able to be united with Him. That the tachlis was to become united. The tachlis was not just to have us do what He wants, because He doesn't need us for that. And it says all over in Nachman many times. Hashem says explicitly, "I don't need you for anything. I'm not asking you because I need something from you. I have everything already. That's not the point. The point is He wants to have this connection with us. He wants us to have a relationship that we could he talks about that we should be able to be matayil with Hashem in Gan Eden, like one together. It's hard to say as equals, but it's like Hashem wants us at least to have. It's mind-boggling, but Hashem wants us to have a feeling as if we are on we have something in common, we have some kind of equal footing. So what is that commonality that we have with Hashem? The Torah. We connect the Torah to Hashem through the Torah. That is the bond, that is the yesod, that's the connection, that's the das. That is what's connecting us to Hashem, and therefore it's absolutely essential, because without that there is no connection. The only connection that exists without the Torah, even you can't have any connection at all without the Torah, because the Torah is what tells us that Hashem created the world. So even on the level of creation, creator and creation, which is the most basic level, that's the Torah. We need the Torah in order to tell us that. So if Hashem didn't give us the Torah and just made the world, so there would be no concept of what Hashem is in the world. It wouldn't be there. So the idea is that, that's sort of the level of that was preceded the Torah, but then the Torah preceded the world also. So even what the Bnei Noach had was also part of the Torah. So it's the point the Torah precedes everything. So the Torah is because the Torah is das, and the das that Hashem gave into the world. Right? That's what Torah is in its essence. So the idea is that if Hashem hadn't given das into the world, there would be no concept of man that there is such a thing as God. So there would be no relationship with whatever. But then the relationship through the Torah, the relationship that the Klal Yisrael has with Hashem is a million times greater, and it's a total other. It's a total different metzias than anything that exists between any other bria and Hashem. So the idea of of the revelation of Hashem and the das and the asubah and the unification of Klal Yisrael and Hashem, meaning the Shechinah, which is Hashem's good presence in the world, together with the Hashem that transcends the world, that is what its existence is all about. And it's something that is filled with pain, because the fact that we have bechira, we have a choice, means that we can end up rejecting Hashem. And then the pain is inconceivable, because here is Hashem, who is totally, in no self-interest of his own, he has created an entire existence for our sake, and then we reject him. Then we throw him away. We actually rebel against him. We ignore him. We rebel against him. We throw him in the garbage. We insult him. We throw darts at him. We do every possible terrible thing. Or another aspect of what's so tragic is just the ignorance. When you see people who are totally oblivious of Hashem, they go around and as if Hashem doesn't exist, either totally denying him or just thinking he's irrelevant and having no relationship with him, not taking advantage of the potential that's there. So all of these things are extremely painful. So the idea is that any pain that we experience in our lives is only because that pain exists. If that pain was not existent in the relationship between the Shechinah and Hashem, then there would be no pain in our lives either. And that's why when Mashiach comes and Hashem is totally revealed and everything will be working the way it's supposed to, so then there will be no pain. There will be no suffering, right? It's mamela, but it's not that we're trying to get away from the suffering. For the bunch of the people, they say, Mashiach has to come because then we won't suffer anymore. That's not the point. Why won't we suffer anymore? Because all of this stuff will be corrected. We won't have any bechira anymore, but we'll have a relationship the way it was supposed to be to begin with. So how Hashem, chose to work it that way, that we should have bechira and then the bechira should be taken away, but the bechira has to be taken away memela because if Hashem reveals himself, then we're not going to have the bechira anyway. We're going to be obviously here. We're going to have a choice. But the point is, we had apparently the whole concept of going through Gullus is that we should go through a significantly long period of time, where by the time we get out of Gullus and come to the point of a Geulah where we don't have bechira anymore, that we'll remember back and we'll appreciate what Geulah means. Right? Because otherwise we would not have it. If we'd never experienced that, then we wouldn't. It's like by the Amish, they have this Rumspringen, they call it. They go out for a year. They're 18 years old. They go out for a year and experience the world. Right? It's so sheltered. They go out and experience the world. And then, the hope is, of course, that they'll come back. And they have their fears, whether they'll come back or not. It's in the vast majority. do come back, because they see that the world is foolishness. They just don't want any part of it. But there are apparently some that don't. So it's a risk. But they have that choice. They're given that choice. So in a sense, you can say that the goal is like our chance to spring a rope. We can jump around and do what we want. And Hashem is hoping that we'll choose to come back to Him, but we have the choice, right? So it's a little bit similar.
Chabad say we want Mashiach now. Rabbi Victor Miller, he says we want Mashiach later. We don't want Mashiach. And a case